Welcome back everybody, Mudford here. I just thought I'd do a quick little short video here about how to get started raising chickens. Most people know you have to have some kind of a chicken coop and all that when they get bigger, but I thought I'd just talk about when you bring the chicks home from the store or get them in the mail, depending on if you order them from a chicken breeder or if you get them from Tractor Supply like we're going to do this time. It's springtime and the chicks are in at Tractor Supply right now, so I just was in there and saw they had a bunch, so I just thought I'd get my brooder set up ready, and I'll show you what I got and why I have it the way I have it. First of all, you need a heat lamp because they need to be kept warm when they're little, because they don't have their feathers yet. They got little tiny fur down feathers or whatever they call them. So you need to keep them real warm until they grow their feathers. And I'll usually have a thermometer right in there so I can see. But if you don't have a thermometer, the easiest way to tell if you have your temperature right, if it's too cold, they'll be huddled all together under the light. And if you have it too warm, they'll be as far away from the light as they can go. So if they're just kind of wandering around and, not clustered together in a group, and you probably have the light close enough or at the right distance from them, and they're probably the right temperature. And then once they start getting older, you'll start gradually pulling the light away, and then after a few weeks, you'll be able to shut the light right off once they get some feathers in. So anyway, that's enough about the light. What I did this last year is I bought a plastic, it's like from a rabbit pen. I think it goes under a rabbit pen. I think it's like 30 by 30 or something roughly like that. You can get whatever size. They have quite a few different sizes. It depends on how many chicks you get. I think we're going to get 20 today. 10 to replace some of our egg layers that are getting old, and 10 more for meat birds. So this should be good for that. And you're gonna unplug the light. So I put some hinges on it, and this is just all made out of some scrap wood, some 1/2 inch, some of it's T111, some OSB, just to fit right inside, just so it fits right inside of my plastic, and that's going to make it perfect for cleaning. I'll throw some sawdust down in there right before I put them in there, and I have a little water container and a food container. And the food container is kind of a pain. They're always making a mess with it, so I actually cut this. It's easy to fill up, that way you don't have to take it apart, and then you can fold it back down, and that way they can't poop in it or anything like that. So you're pretty much set when you have them like this, but you'll find before too long, when they get bigger, they'll spill the water all over. And this style of water, I just despise them. So as soon as they get bigger, actually, let me go back. What they'll do is they'll get sawdust in it, because they're so dumb. They'll just keep putting sawdust in there. They'll fill the whole little trough up all the way around, and they'll have sawdust in it. It'll be hard for them to get a drink. And when they get a little bigger, they'll probably knock it over. So as soon as they get a little bit bigger, I switch over to the nipple style one. And that's what I have this hole for. Right now I'll keep it closed. But as soon as they get a little bigger, I'll mount this down in there. And they can get a drink from this. And it doesn't take them very long to figure this out at all. They'll come up to it and start getting a drink, but what I'll do is leave the other one in for a while, and this one, until I'm sure they're all drinking good from it. And then I'll put this one in, and this one's easy to fill. I'll just use some plumber's tape around. Yeah, you can see the rustering where the plumber's tape goes, and I'll just screw it to the side of the brooder here. And then as the birds get bigger, I'll slide it up higher and higher on the wall. And the good thing about this 3-inch PVC here is the bottom part of the red part with the trough will fit right over top of this for a lid. So it'll just keep the contaminants out. And You can have it sticking right up through here, so you can add water real easy every day. Just take the red top that I'll have on over this, pull it off, add some water, and put that top back on. And that takes care of the water. And then once they get a little bit bigger, I'll switch out from the food, a little food container, to these PVC feeders. And this is just I think I did a video on them, but already, so you can look for that video. I'll put a link in the description. But I just mount these inside of there, and I will put something in here to neck it down a little bit to keep them from making a big mess. And I'll probably wash these too. These have been sitting outside. And it just makes raising them with this setup just makes it really easy. And I mean, the only thing you're going to have to really do that would be a pain is changing the sawdust out, which is why I went with the plastic. So you can just take your birds out, put them in a box real quick, and then you can just pick this the wood piece right off, take your tray outside, dump it, and wash it off with a hose, and it should be good. So that's the quick and easy way to get set up to start raising chickens. As you can see, our feeder birds, our feeder chickens, are starting to get a lot bigger than our laying hens, because the feeder chickens are gonna be growing very rapidly now, and they'll be mature in 8 to 10 weeks, and it's gonna take a lot longer for the layers to get that big. So right now they're starting to get kind of crowded in here in the brooder. So we're about ready to move the feeders out into the special coop that I have for them. So the only problem we have is being Michigan. Here's what it looks like today. So we're going to have to make some special precautions for the cold weather. Okay, so last year was our first year with getting the meat birds. We got Cornish rocks. We got 10 of them this year. And last year, once they got too big for the brooder, I didn't really have a place to put them. So I went ahead and put them in with our egg layers. So this year I just bought some 1/2-inch plywood, a few treated studs, and that's treated plywood also. And I had some metal roofing laying around. And I just made a little mini coop for them for when they get a little bigger they can go in here when they get too big for the brooder. And so I made a prop rod for it that hinges onto there. So actually, if it's a really warm day, we can leave this up. This is a water, it's U-shaped, and it has 4 of the red poultry nipples on the bottom for them to drink out of. And you can just fill it up on these. And then there's 2 feeders, 1 in each corner. And they're open at the bottom. I did another video on the feeders. And so that should hold enough food for them for a while. And I did make them a little roost, because last year when I had them in with the laying hens, the roosts for the laying hens are too high and they can't really get up on them. They're not real coordinated, and I don't want them jumping a lot because they get heavy so fast. I don't want them to break their legs or anything, so I made them just a small roost so they can get up off the ground. And then we also, on this side, on the tall side of it, we have a window that opens up, and you can latch it up on each side, and it'll keep the sun from shining directly in, and hopefully keep any, if it's raining out, keep some of the water off like that, but still let some air going. And even if you leave it open at night, there's the screen over it, so they'll still be protected. Okay, so here's what we did with our feeder coop here. I threw a bunch of straw down. I was just going to let them, the plan was to just let them be able to get to the grass underneath there, but it appears winter is not going to let up here in Michigan. So I put a whole bunch of straw down that they can nestle down in, and I also had to move the heat lamp into here, and hopefully this will keep it warm enough for them because they're not quite full feathered yet. But I have the feeling that this, with the heat lamp that close to them, that they should stay warm. And I also put a, I don't know if you can, probably can't read it. I just turned the light on though. But we got a thermometer down there, and we can keep track of the temperature in here, and possibly lower the light down if needed. And also, an important thing with when you're putting any kind of a heat lamp in a place where there's going to be straw or other things that can catch on fire, don't rely on the clamps, because if that light were to fall, it would more than likely catch that straw right on fire.